All right, so let's go ahead and see that how we can now integrate our register page with the register view model. The first thing we need to do is if you open up our register page, you can see right over here, we don't have any way to create a register view model instance. So I'm going to go ahead and say register view model, and it will be register VM for register view model. Now the question is, well, how do we create an instance from it? Now, one of the things you noted about the register view model, if I open it up, is that it is using change notifier. So what we want to do is we want the provider to create an instance or give us the instance of the register view model. In order to do that, we have to make sure that we are wrapping the register page with the provider. So if we go to our incident list page, incident list page, this one, you can see that we have navigate to register page function. And this particular function simply pushes a navigator and pushes a register page onto the screen. But it does not do anything with the provider, meaning it does not register the provider, it does not wrap the register page with the provider. So we have to do all of those different things. So let's go ahead and do this. So we need to wrap this register page with the provider so that the provider can provide the register page with an instance of register view model. So I'm going to go over here and start wrapping this up. There we go. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and say over here, change notifier provider. And you can see that there is a create and there is a child. So create means that, well, what kind of an instance you want to create? And the instance that we want to create and give it to the register page would be the register view model instance. So let's go ahead and import that and create that. And who will be the child, meaning what kind of a widget that you want to display, and that will be the register page. So now, whenever we go to the register page, it will have an instance of the register view model through the provider. So now we can go ahead and jump into the register page. Let's go ahead and open this up. There we go. Right now we have created kind of like a declaration of register view model, but we have not really created an instance of the actual register view model. That instance will be created inside the build function. So I'm going to go over here inside the build function and I'm going to say register view model equals to, I'm going to use the provider. So provider, and we're going to use provider of what is the type of the provider? Well, it is register view model. That's the instance we want. And we're going to simply pass in the context. So this means that every single time this is going to run, it is going to give us the instance of the register view model, an object of the register view model that we can actually use. With that in place, let's go to the register user function, which is right here. This is all inside the register page. You can see in the register view function, we are checking if the form is validated, meaning the email and password is added. We get the email, we get the password. But the next thing that we want to do is we want to make sure that we can register. So register view model dot register, passing in the email and passing in the password. Great. Now the register function is an async function, so we will wait for it. It is going to return us is registered, which means that either it is registered or not. It's like a Boolean. If it is registered, then what do we want to do? Well, if it is registered, then what we do is we just simply pop it out, meaning we pop out the modal which is displaying the registration page for now. So I'm just going to go ahead and say navigator.pop and passing in the context and also passing in true value. And we'll get to that why we're passing the true value, but we will pass in the true value right now. The other thing that we want to do is that in this particular register page, we are asking for the email, which is right here. We are asking for the password, which is right here. We have a register button, which is right here. And we have a text control also, which is not really displaying anything. This is where we can display some sort of an error message. Remember the message property from the register view model? We can actually display that over here. So this will display messages like your password is weak or this email has been already registered and things like that. Okay, let's go ahead and do a hard reset and go to the register page, which is right here. And let's go ahead and register. So I'm going to go ahead and register with, let's say, John Doe at, or whatever, my name also, let's say Azam Sharp at gmail.com. And I'm going to go ahead and say password 123. And let's see if it registers or not. Okay, you can see that the modal actually went away after registration. That's good. But what we are interested in mainly is that is the user actually registered or not. So let's go back to our authentication page for the Firebase. And this is important because you have to press the refresh button. And if I press the refresh button, you can see the new user that we just registered using our Flutter app. So this is great. This means that the registration is working and the user is registered with the Firebase. It is creating an account with Firebase. The next step for us would be to make sure that we can log in the user after registration. So let's go ahead and discuss that in the next lecture.